Hello students, myself Janhavi Gore. Now in this we are going to start with the application of derivatives. Already we have studied about the derivatives. Now we are going to study how to apply them or where it been used. Now for this in your book it is given that first rate of change of quality, another is increasing decreasing, tangents and normals, then approximation and maxima minima. These are the applications given. In this video, we are going to study about the first three, that is a rate of change of quantity, another that is a increasing and decreasing function, and the third is the tangents and normals. Now for the what is a rate of change of quantity? This word rate of change is not new for you. Already in the physics in ninth standard, you have studied the rate of change of displacement is the velocity. Rate of change of velocity is acceleration. So you have heard the word rate of change. The word itself says change. That is, as the value of one variable changes, there will occur the change in another variable, because we always write that y is equal to f of x. It indicates that the y depends upon the x. So, as there will be the change in the value of x, there will be the change in the value of y. And this change at what rate it is a changing with respect to x is called as rate of change of y with respect to x, and that is calculated by dy by dx. Now you know the notation, the dy by dx is nothing but the derivative of y with respect to x. When we calculate dy by dx at the fixed point x is equal to x0, that is called as a rate of change of y with respect to x at that fixed value. Now y and x are changing with respect to time t. Then dy by dt and dx by dt gives the change of y and x with respect to time. Understand this. We will take one example. For that, I am going to take exercise 6.1, question number 7. The question is given. The length of a rectangle decreases at the rate of 5 centimeter per minute, while the width y increases at the rate of 4 centimeter per minute. When x is 8 and y is 6, they have asked to find out rate of change of perimeter and the rate of change of its area. Now, as they have given, the first, that is a length, decreases at the rate of 5 centimeter per minute. So x is a length they have stated. So dx by dt is equal to minus 5 centimeter per minute. Here negative sign indicates the value is goes on decreasing, while the what they have stated, the breadth is increasing. So breadth is denoted by, or the width is denoted by the y, and so dy by dt is given as 4 centimeter per minute. They have asked to calculate the rate of change of perimeter. We know that denoted by P, and the formula is 2 times of L plus B. Therefore, we get P will be equal to 2 times of X plus Y. We'll differentiate this with respect to T. Then we get dP by dt will be 2 dx by dt plus dy by dt. Now by replacing the values, dP by dt will be 2 times of minus 5 plus 4. So it will give you the minus 2 centimeter per minute. Here again the negative sign indicates that perimeter will go on decreasing at the rate of 2 centimeter per minute. Now the second part, find out the change in the area. We know that the area of the rectangle A is L into B. So A will be equals to X into Y. Now we'll differentiate with respect to T. We get dA by dt will be, by using product rule, X dy by dt plus Y dx by dt. Now we will replace all the values. X was given 4, sorry, x is given 8, dy by dt was 4 plus 6 into minus 5. So that is equal to 32 minus 30, that is equal to 2 square centimeter per minute. It means the area will go on increasing at the rate of 2 square centimeter per minute. The main use of rate of change is used in economics and the physics. In the economics, the marginal cost is the rate of change of total cost with respect to output. So when the output is x and cost, that is a function, so it is a c which will be the function of x. Then the derivative of c with respect to x gives us the marginal cost. Another is a marginal revenue, is the rate of change of total revenue with respect to the number of atoms sold at that instant. So if the number of atoms sold is x and the revenue is a function of x, it is denoted by normally r of x, then the derivative of r of x with respect to x will give you the marginal revenue at the given instant. Now we are going to solve question number 16 of exercise 6.1. The total revenue in rupees received from the sale of X unit of a product is given by R of X is 13x square plus 26x plus 15. Find the marginal revenue when X is 7. Now we know that the marginal revenue is the rate of change of total revenue per unit produced. In this case, X is a produced and the function, revenue function is given as R of X. So we'll differentiate this R of X. The function is given as 13x square plus 26x plus 15. Differentiate this with respect to X. Our derivative of r of x is 26x plus 26. Now they have asked to find out the revenue when x is 7. So replace x as 7. We get 26 into 7 plus 26 and that will be equals to 182 plus 26, that is equal to 208, and we can say that the marginal revenue is rupees 208 when x is 7 or the 7 atoms has been sold. Now this completes the rate of change, that is a one changes with the another is called as a change. Now in the change, increasing or decreasing, for example, if x increases and the value of y also increases, or x decreases along with that the value of y also decreases, such are called as increasing function, while the decreasing function is a function where one value increases with the decrease in the other. So here we say when y increases as the value of x increases, then the function is increasing function, and in that case always we get dy by dx is greater than 0. While when the value of y decreases as the value of x increases, then the function is decreasing function, and in that case the value of dy by dx becomes a negative. Now to understand this, we will plot a graph of y is equal to x square. Now y is equal to x square. When we plot the graph, what happens? When x is 1, y is 1. When x is 2, y is 4. X is 3, y will be 9. So as my x go on increasing, the value of y go on increasing on this side. So we can say that it becomes an increasing function when I'm talking about the positive values of x. As for the positive values of x, it means x is greater than 0. As x increases, the value of y go on increasing. So it becomes an increasing function in the interval from 0 to infinity. Now we'll go for the reverse. That is when x is a negative values. -1 is +1. -2, we have decreased the value of x. Value of y becomes a 4. Still it is increasing. So there is a decrease in the value of x, shows the increase in the value of y. It indicates that the function is decreasing. So here the y is equal to x square becomes a decreasing function when we go about the negative values of x. So every time the function will not be increasing or decreasing. That depends upon the interval. Here, when I take x positive values, we get the function y is equal to x square was an increasing function because we get dy by dx was a positive. While when we go for the x is a negative, that is from minus infinity to 0, then the value of dy by dx will becomes a negative. It indicates that the function is a decreasing function. So function increases and decreases depends upon the intervals. To intervals, what they have stated, the function is said to be strictly increasing if the f dash of x is greater than 0 for all the values of x in the given interval, and if f dash of x is a less than 0, it is called as a strictly decreasing. But if the function is a such that in the given interval or in a part, in an interval part, one part it is increasing and another part it is a decreasing, then such functions are called neither increasing nor strictly decreasing function. What is the, we have taken y is equal to x square. When x is any real number, then we have to say it is neither increasing nor strictly decreasing. But if the interval is given from 0 to infinity, then it will be strictly increasing. And if it is given as negative values, that is x is less than 0, then it will be strictly decreasing. Now if f dash of x becomes a 0, then the function is called as the constant function. There is function is a constant, and so there is no change observed. It is not increasing nor a decreasing function. To understand how to calculate, or the question depends on, go for the example. They have given the example as show that the function given by f of x is equal to sin x is strictly increasing in the interval of 0 comma pi by 2. So increasing or decreasing function depends upon the interval. Now for that they have given prove that it is a strictly increasing. First we'll find out the derivative of f of x. So f of x is a sin x. So f dash of x is cos x. Now as x belongs to 0 comma pi by 2, that means that your angle is lies in the first quadrant. And in the first quadrant, the value of cos is positive. It indicates f dash of x is greater than 0. And as f dash of x is greater than 0, f of x is strictly increasing in the interval of 0 comma pi by 2. Now the second part, what they have asked, strictly decreasing in the interval of pi by 2 to pi. F dash of x is the same, that is a cos x. But as x belongs to pi by 2 to pi, it means our angle is in the second quadrant. And in the second quadrant, the value of cos x is always less than 0. It indicates f dash of x is less than 0, and that indicates f of x is strictly decreasing in the interval of pi by 2 to pi. The third part, the function is the same. They say that it is neither increasing or nor decreasing in the interval 0 comma pi. Now when we consider the 0 comma pi, what we get? There are two quadrants and our f dash of x was a cos. cos is positive in the first, negative in the second. So already we have proved that f of x is strictly increasing in the interval of 0 to pi by 2, and it is strictly decreasing in the interval pi by 2 to pi. So when we consider the total, that is a 0 to pi, in one part it is a increasing, while in another part it is a decreasing, and so we say the function the give is not strictly increasing nor strictly decreasing in the interval of 0 to pi. This is a question where they have given to check whether the function is increasing or decreasing, or neither increasing nor decreasing in the given interval. Another type of the question asked on this are find the interval when the function increases and decreases. For that, we will take one exercise 6.2, question number 5. Find the intervals in which function given by f of x 2x cube minus 3x square minus 36x plus 7 and is strictly increasing and strictly decreasing. Now to check the interval or to find the intervals, first we will find out the f dash of x. F of x is given 2x cube minus 3x square minus 36x plus 7. So what will be f dash of x? F dash of x will be 6x square minus 6x minus 36. Now we will take 6 common and we get x square minus x minus 6. We will try to split or we will try to factorize this. Now to get a factor of 6 such that subtraction should be 1. So we get the factors as 3 twos are, and so we get the factor of f dash of x 6 x minus 3 into x plus 2. Now at x is equal to 3, f dash of x will become a 0. At x is equal to minus 2 also, f dash of x will become a 0. And so we can say that the interval was real number, nothing is mentioned. So we'll consider all real numbers. Now in this real number, it means from minus infinity to plus infinity. At 3 and minus 2, f dash of x will become a 0. So our intervals will be now from minus infinity to minus 2, minus 2 to 3, and 3 to infinity. Now in these three intervals, we have to check whether the function increases or decreases. Now for the increasing, we know that the first order derivative should be positive. It means the multiplication of this 3 must be the positive for increasing, while for decreasing, multiplication of this 3 should be the negative. Now the one way we can consider first increasing, it means product is a positive, means both are positive or both are negative, we'll get a one condition. And for decreasing, one should be the positive, another should be the negative. With that also we can find. But the easiest way will go with the table. We will prepare a table. In this case, we are going to write intervals on one side and the values of 6, x minus 3 and x plus 2 will be calculated separately for each and every interval, and then we'll calculate about the f dash of. Here we have prepared the intervals are minus infinity to minus 2, minus 2 to 3, 3 to infinity, 6, x plus 2, x minus 3, and then f dash. F dash it means product of all these three. 6 is a positive, doesn't depends upon the values of x. So is going to be a positive for all the three intervals. So we have written plus positive, positive, positive. F x plus 2. When we take the interval from minus infinity to minus 2, take any value of x between this interval, we are going to take it as a minus 3. So when I replace x as minus 3 here, minus 3 plus 2, so that will be minus 1. We don't want a number, we just have to check whether it is a positive or a negative. We get it as a negative. When we replace minus 3 here, minus 3 minus 3 minus 6, it means it is a negative. So what happened? 6 is positive, this is negative, this is negative. So multiplication will be the positive. It means it is being the increasing function in the interval of minus infinity to minus 2. Now for this interval, that is minus 2 to 3. Take any value between them. I will take it as a 0. It is easy. So this is a positive. 0 plus 2, positive. 0 minus 3, negative. And as this is positive, positive into negative, it will be negative. F dash of x negative, it indicates that it is a decreasing in the interval minus 2 to 3. Again 3 to infinity. Take any value. I will take it as a 4. 4 plus 2, 6. So it is a positive. 4 minus 3, positive. So ultimately what we get, the multiplication will also be the positive. And so again it is an increasing function. By preparing table, it becomes a very easy. So first part they have asked strictly increasing in the interval. So it increases in the interval of minus infinity to minus 2 and 3 to infinity, and decreases in the interval minus 2 to 3. So here we have calculated the intervals in which the function becomes strictly increasing and strictly decreasing. Overall, the real function, if they ask, it is neither increasing nor decreasing function. The application of a derivatives for the normal and tangents. Now, what is mean by the tangent? Is a line which intersects the curve at one and only one point. If y is equal to f of x be the equation of the curve and x0 y0 be any point on the curve, then the value of dy by dx at x0 y0 gives us the slope of a tangent drawn at that point. This about this we have studied when we have studied about the geometrical interpretation of the mean value theorem and Rolle's theorem. There we have studied that value of dy by dx or f dash of x at the given point, correct, gives you the slope of a tangent. Now we have to find out the equation of a tangent. Last year we have studied the slope point form. We know that our line tangent is passing through this x0 y0, and we also know the slope, that is the value of dy by dx. And so equation of a tangent will be given by y minus y0 into slope x minus x0, and the slope is nothing but the value of dy by dx at x0 comma y0. That is gives you the equation of a tangent. Now a normal is perpendicular to the tangent, and therefore the slope of a normal will be equal to minus 1 upon slope of a tangent. So that is equal to minus 1 upon the value of dy by dx at x0 y0. The normal is also drawn at the point x0 comma y0, and so the equation of a normal will be y minus y0 is equal to minus 1 upon dy by dx at x0 y0 into x minus x0. Here also we have used the slope point form only. This was a slope and the point through which it was passing, and so we can get the equation of a normal. Now the question asked is to find the equation of a tangent and a normal to the given curve. To understand that, we will take one example. Going to solve the question number 14 of second, that is a question of exercise 6.3. Find the equation of a tangent and a normal to the given curve at indicated points. The curve, that is the equation, is given y is equal to x raised to 4 minus 6x cube minus 10x plus 5 at x1 comma 3. It means x0 y0 is 1 comma 3. Now we have to find out the equation of a tangent. We know that tangent passing through. Passing point is given. So we require the slope. And the slope of a tangent is nothing but value of dy by dx. So first we will differentiate this function. Now differentiating with respect to x, what we will get? Dy by dx will be 4x cube minus 6 3s are 18x square plus 26x minus 10. Now the dy by dx will be x at x equal to 1. Replace every x by 1 and we get the value as, when we replace x we get 4 minus 18 plus 26 minus 10, and on simplifying we get 2. So we can say that the slope of a tangent is 2. As the slope of a tangent is a 2 and tangent is passes through 1 comma 3, we can find the equation of a tangent as y minus 3 is equal to slope 2 bracket x minus 1. On simplifying we get 2x minus y plus 1 is equal to 0. So we get the equation of a tangent. Now we have to find out the equation of a normal. For that we require the slope of a normal. And the slope of a normal is always equal to minus 1 upon slope of a tangent. So that will be equals to minus 1 upon 2. We know the slope of a normal. Normal also passes through the point 1 comma 3. And so the equation of a normal will be y minus 3 is equal to minus half bracket x minus 1. On simplifying we get 2y minus 6 is equal to minus x plus 1, or that is more simplified we can write x plus 2y is equal to 7. So here we have calculated the equation of a tangent and we have calculated, or we have find out the equation of a normal. We complete the rate of change, the intervals for the function to be increasing or decreasing, and tangents and normal to the curves. You can solve now the exercise 6.1, 6.2 and 6.3 of your test book. If you can, for the solution, the following links are being given. You can visit and check your answers as well. Thank you, students.